Hello, welcome to our channel. I'm Rhema. Today's video is a part 2 of the CSUMB Q A where I interview 3 of my friends. One is an international student, one is a transfer student, and one is a student that's been at CSUMB for 4 years. The goal of these videos is just to provide more insight about student perspectives and the personal experiences of each student and hopefully help you guys make the right choice. In this video, we're just going to be answering a few questions about students' favorite things to do off campus, least favorite thing about CSUMB, favorite thing about CSUMB, and lastly, some very helpful advice. Definitely stay until the end of the video to get some advice from each of us.
There's the beach half an hour walk away, Ford Beach, which is beautiful. I tried to go at the beginning, every week, once a week to watch the sunset, and it was gorgeous. Downtown is a 40-minute bus, and there are shops there. There's the aquarium, shout out to Monterey Bay Aquarium. There's thrift stores, really cute ones. Cannery Row is this place downtown, which is loads of boutiques and really quaint stores, lots of beaches. Then if you go a bit further, there's just natural beauties like Lovers Point Rock, and then San Francisco, San Jose are within 2 hours, and then if you go south, Big Sur, again within an hour, so it's actually a really good location.
My favorite thing to do off campus is I love to go thrifting. There's a Plato's Closet and a Goodwill and some other really cute thrift stores within really close proximity to each other. Then one of my other favorite things is walking along the Pacific Grove Trail. That view is just incredible and the walk is so peaceful and it's just so beautiful.
Probably would be to go get poke. There's one, I think it's called
Poke Bar?
Poke Bar. Yeah. I go there. I try to limit it to only twice a week at most. It's just so good. I never had poke until I moved here. They have it up where I'm from, but I just never tried it. I just go. Once I start thinking about it, I have to go. I can't talk myself out of it.
Get food. Do you like the Vietnamese food that we have here? It's so good. They're both named Noodle Bar. And you can't ask me, they're not the same company. They're both different restaurants named Noodle Bar. They're both really good and have different menus. Confusing, but they're both good. There's a really I don't think popular but well-known place in the area. It's called Papa Chevos. They have really good asada breakfast burritos, chorizo breakfast burritos. Everyone, because you can get them all day there. So some people, and they're open till 2 a.m. So I'll show up at Papa Chevos at I did last night at midnight, and it was I'm feeling a breakfast burrito. I'm a huge coffee fan. If you ask anyone, I live off that as my lifeblood. We have a lot of little cute coffee shops in the area, and so I do spend a lot of time studying and just hanging out there. Everyone knows Captain and Stoker, or it says Captain Plus Stoker. A place called Counterpoint. My personal favorite is called Acme Coffee. It's ACME. And when I say it's a hole in the wall, it is literally a hole in a old refurbished garage. You can even drive over to Carmel for the nicer places to dine in. My favorite place is Vesuvio's. That's when I'm balling on the small budget. So my most favorite thing is the beach. I am in love with sunset. For me to even walk, or I could drive 5 minutes to the beach, or probably less, and just park and just sit there all day and just watch until the sunset.
My least favorite thing, which I knew coming into it, but actually living the reality, is how remote it is and how hard it is to get to places without a car. In terms of downtown, 10-minute journeys in a car or 40 minutes on the bus kind of thing. Being so out of the way, I found a challenge.
My least favorite thing about CSUMB would have to be the fact that the classes didn't feel very challenging, which I think some people might appreciate, but for me personally, I like to feel challenged and I'm learning new things all the time. It felt the coursework and the content was fairly easy. Things that I had already known before, or things that just were very easy to digest. I just didn't feel really challenged, and that kind of affects my motivation in general in school. If it feels too easy, then it's hard for me to feel motivated.
My least favorite thing about CSUMB would have to be, it is a pain to have everything be so spread out. Campus itself is very walkable, but the surrounding areas, there's not anything walkable. I do have a vehicle here on campus, so that has made it really easy for me to get around. But for someone who does not have a car, there is a bus system. I know Miss Rhema takes quite often, the MST or the Monterey Wave bus. I think they come pretty often. But
yeah, well, they come every hour, but it's okay. It works out.
I think the hardest thing, and this goes for any small community, anyone that's from a small town knows, like, when you know everyone, and say you have a disagreement with a friend, or, you know, people are always going to talk bad about each other, because that's what you get in college sometimes, like, people that don't know how to adapt completely and have those qualities. Doesn't always happen. Like, it depends on what friend groups you run with and all these things, but I always say, like, the positive and the negative to CSUMB is someone knows me 2 friend groups down that I probably don't know. Like, they've heard of Nevin, and, like, but that goes for Rhema, that goes for anyone, you know. I'd say that's the biggest thing, the challenging, at least.
Apart from Rhema Wong is I think in California, the weather in general, but specifically CSUMB, I think how many classes like they offer so much content, and like I've done so much history that I never get the chance to do at home. The classes and how varied they are and what they cover has probably been my most unexpected but favorite thing about CSUMB.
My favorite thing about CSUMB would have to be the sense of community. It felt like everywhere that I went on campus, I would see somebody that I knew, especially coming from Hawaii, where this is very common. Like, you run into somebody that you know almost everywhere you go. So coming from Hawaii and having that sense of community and in Hawaii, and then having it at CSUMB, it kind of just like made me feel like I was at home. It's very easy to get involved at CSUMB, and once you're involved, then you kind of just know everybody. Another thing I really liked about CSUMB is how supported I felt. It felt like the entire campus and all of the organizations that they had on campus and all of the teachers and even just like all of the students are just there for you, and they want to support you and they want to help you succeed. There's like so many tutoring programs and just like basic supportive programs. For example, CSUMB has a basic needs where you can get free food, or they help students apply for EBT. Another thing I really liked about CSUMB was every single student that I talked to loved what they were doing, loved what they were studying, they loved their major, and they were just very excited about it. That was just very like refreshing for me to be around, something that I wasn't used to. I think that a big reason that people go to CSUMB is because of the programs or like the classes that they offer. That definitely plays a big role in students and their like overall attitude towards the classes and their major in general.
My favorite thing about CSUMB would probably be the fact that I have my own room. So peaceful to have your own space on campus. I know not everyone will get the luxury of having that because of housing, and it's not always available, but it's really peaceful to just have my own space. It's so close, like it's on campus. It's so close to my classes. I leave 15 minutes before my classes start. I'm just finding the quietness. It makes it really easy for me to focus, get all of my things done. For those of you that have never visited the area before, CSUMB's campus is actually the closest CSU to the ocean. It's actually walkable. It's about a 30-minute walk from here to the ocean. It's like a 10-minute walk to get to sand, but the way the path works, you have to like go like wind all the way around to get to the ocean.
My favorite thing CSUMB is also the community. When I came to college, I didn't want to really get involved, but something here like is that you have so little students that you can run for a lot of things. Like I do a plethora of things on campus, and I've had a ton of jobs, and not only does that help pay back my college, but it's less competitive, right? Like your scholarships are less competitive. As a student, like there's a lot of things that are more accessible, and the community itself is smaller and more accessible in a sense, where you meet a lot of people through these multiple positions, or you meet a lot of people through the things you get involved in because it's small and it's cute. And so I'd say that's also my favorite thing, is the closeness.
My biggest piece of advice would be prepared to like make your own entertainment. You need to be proactive if you want to do things. It is a small campus, it doesn't have a big party scene. Like if you want to go out and do things, like things will not be handed to you. Like you need to go and make your own entertainment and like form those friendships and go and do things. International students, obviously we're here to travel as much as we can, and it is a really good location. to do that and go places. Like, plan it well, because traveling in America can be really expensive. Make friends with people with cars. That's my biggest piece of advice. And be prepared for like culture shocks, because you think because they speak the same language and because the media is like really Americanized in the UK, like but you will have culture shocks, so be prepared for that one. Students in general, they do 8 a.m.s and 8 p.m. classes. Would not recommend an 8 p.m. class. That's my biggest piece of advice. Do not take an 8 p.m. class. I've done Monday, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. till 9:20. Would not recommend. Final piece of advice, especially for international students. America is a big place. You are not going to travel everywhere you want to go. Even California, you are not going to be able to go to everywhere. The finances will not cover it. The time will not cover it. Be nice to yourself. Make realistic lists. America's expensive. Save, work hard and save.
Life advice right there.
Work hard, save your money, but enjoy spending it.
Yes. This is advice for NSE or exchange students, or I guess just new students in general that are like applying to college. Ask questions. Like, ask as many questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question. When I was like going through the application process and like trying to figure out all my classes and everything, I felt so scared to ask questions, and I felt like I was annoying everybody, but that's what they're there for. That is their job. Your advisor is there to support you and to help you and to make sure that you're taking the right classes and that you're doing the right thing and just making the right choices. This is a new experience for you, and there are so many unknown things. Another piece of advice that I have is to just get as involved as possible. Make the most of this experience and try new things and take risks and do things that make you feel uncomfortable. This is like a very important time in our lives where a lot of us are figuring out who we are, what we're interested in, what we're not interested in, trying new things, and even like talking to different people and hanging out with different people can really teach us a lot about ourselves as individuals, which is a very important thing to know. In the end, people regret not doing more. Make the most of your money and make the most of this experience. You're only in college once, or most of us are. So just make the most of this experience, embrace all of the newness and the change and the emotions that it comes with, and just have fun.
My advice would probably be that just attend all the events, like go to things, put yourself out there. The college experience is only 4 years. For me, it's gonna be 6. But you might not be living here when you're done with college. You might not have the luxury of being so close to all of these other young people, potential friends, potential people to network with, potential lovers. You can take that part out.
I'm gonna leave it in.
Just put yourself out there and don't be ashamed to say hi and introduce yourself.
Especially to incoming students. And honestly, this applies to all students. My biggest part of advice is like, get involved. There's always something out there that meets your wants or your needs or your desires as a student. Like, you like chess? There's a club for that. There's so much to do. Like leadership, like that's a lot of the jobs I do. Like, if you get paid to do it, you know, like I said, like you like being a part of your student body, you get paid now. That's a thing. Like, you do official election process and all these really cool things. As involved as you can, not only going to events, but apply to jobs. If there's something that feels uncomfortable, acknowledge that. If there's something that feels discomfortable, do it. Like, push yourself. Do things that maybe feel different in college. This is one of the most special times that you can do that. You can't always do that outside of here. Build the community while you can, and you might make like lifelong friends, or you'll learn lifelong lessons. You'll know if it's your college. You'll walk on campus, or you'll look at the website, or you'll hear what we're talking about, and like, that's cool. And like, that's great. Like, a lot of things are cool in college. There is like this part of like, I'm not here to sell you my experience, or Rhema's not here to say those things. Like, Rhema lives a really cool life on campus, has made the most of that life. And so that's possible here, but that's possible anywhere you all go. Any college you apply to, you have the ability to make the most of where you're at.